the foundation of animal rights, which have been used for the purposes of deciding Nagaraj, is a reflection of what the duties are as far as people are concerned, which are clearly, I mean, imposed, not imposed, but called for, required under our fundamental duties section, a chapter of the Constitution, as well as the Prevention of Cruelty Act, which puts it. So it's really a mirror image. So let's not use, so Nagaraj doesn't use, in my understanding, rights in a conventional, traditional sense as we would attach to human beings. One. Two, because I would commend the formulation by Justice Bose yesterday, that does it really make a difference whether we label this as rights or duties? Because at the end of the day, the object of the law is to prevent cruelty. And we would implore your lordships in whatever manner to ensure.
We want to know
yes.
whether when Nagaraja says in paragraph 64, 65,
yes.
66, 67,
yes.
that they are present rights under section 3 and 11.
Yes. So, my lords, yeah.
Elevated to constitutional right.
Yeah.
Are you saying that is the correct?
So, lords, let me. Yes. So let me. Now I'm speaking for myself, but then your lordship, because I answered it. Addressed your lordships very narrowly. So I'll just first stick to my guns in, so to speak, as I did during the opening, and then expand it because your lordship says from a jurisprudential perspective that other counsel take. Now on the narrowest, if your lordship really, yes, please see those paragraphs, but please see the earlier paragraphs as to how the judge has articulated it. He has not said that this right is available under this section to this animal or the other. No, it's a very carefully and very well calibrated judgment, if I may say so. The reason I say that is that he draws on rights, or the animal rights which he pegs on. The animal rights Nagaraj is speaking of. Let me talk about that. The animal rights which Nagaraj is speaking of is, one, the reflection of the duty imposed on humans. Two, an assimilation of the 5 freedoms which are universally recognized, which I had mentioned in the opening: freedom from temperature, hunger, etc., thermal, etc. So that's another element into the rights of animal. That's the minimum requirement. And the third broad element which the learned judge finds is that, look, there is an improvement over time. There's an evolution of these recognition in terms of sentient beings, in terms of our understanding of biology, physiology, in terms of the bull. And therefore, we are moving in a direction where animals such as the bull, which is the only thing he was dealing with there, are at now a stage when we can, or the time has come when perhaps like the German constitution, some recognition ought to be given over there. But jurisprudentially, we're not speaking for myself. If the court is asking whether Nagaraj says that, look, a person A or B or C for an animal can come to court and petition, say, habeas corpus. So your lordships may be aware of the 𝗃𝗵 case. Are you aware of the 𝗃𝗵 case? No. All right. So 𝗃𝗵 is an elephant in Brooklyn Zoo. And 𝗃𝗵 went through an animal protection group and filed habeas corpus. The relief was quite limited. The relief said that, look, as far as animal rights, I mean, seeking habeas corpus, and the relief was that I don't want to be confined to Brooklyn Zoo, but please put me on a larger area, which, so not exactly a safari lodge, but a larger space, because animals require that space. Eventually, the Court of Appeals, as far as New York is concerned, turned it down. There was also a dissenting opinion. If your lordship likes, we will place it. But they said that we are not going to issue a writ of habeas corpus on the point that animal does not have standing in terms of approaching the court. So this is in 2022. This is a recent judgment. That's not how Nagaraj looks at it. Nagaraj doesn't say habeas corpus for this animal or the other, but it looks at rights. I like the formulation with respect, to what Justice Bose had put it. That's really the matrix in which your lordships may examine this case. I'm very grateful. Thank you.